What if everything you believe about yourself and the world is just a story, a dream you've been taught to live in? What if you could step outside that dream and see reality clearly, without fear, judgment, or distortion? That's the message at the heart of The Fifth Agreement by Don Miguel Ruiz and his son Don José Ruiz, a guide to deeper self-mastery, awareness, and freedom. In the Four Agreements, Don Miguel Ruiz revealed how we can transform our lives by breaking the false agreements that keep us trapped in suffering and replacing them with 4 new ones. Be impeccable with your word. Don't take anything personally. Don't make assumptions. And always do your best. In the Fifth Agreement, the Ruiz family takes this wisdom further. Once you've learned to quiet the inner judge and victim, the next step is to see through the illusions of the world to awaken to truth. This book teaches you how to become what they call a spiritual warrior of the mind, someone who sees reality as it truly is, not as the mind imagines it to be. The first key lesson revisits the foundation. Be impeccable with your word. Your word, Ruiz reminds us, is your greatest power. It's the tool that builds your reality. Every belief, every fear, every limitation began as a word that someone spoke and that you accepted as truth. Being impeccable with your word means using that creative power consciously. Instead of spreading judgment, gossip, or doubt, use your word to plant seeds of love, kindness, and integrity. Speak truthfully. Speak gently. Speak in a way that adds beauty to the world. And perhaps even more important, be impeccable with the words you speak to yourself. The inner voice can be your greatest ally or your worst enemy. Choose to use your words to heal rather than harm, to encourage rather than destroy. This simple shift can transform your entire inner world. The second lesson is, don't take anything personally. We often believe that others' opinions, actions, or judgments are about us, but they're not. Every person sees life through the lens of their own dream, their own conditioning. When someone criticizes or praises you, they're expressing their perception, not an absolute truth. When you stop taking things personally, you stop giving others power over your emotions. You become emotionally free, not because you're detached, but because you understand that their dream isn't yours. You no longer carry the weight of others' projections. This agreement allows you to stay grounded even in chaos. Instead of reacting, you respond with peace. Instead of defending yourself, you listen with understanding. The third lesson is don't make assumptions. Human beings are storytellers. When we don't know the truth, we invent it. We fill in the blanks with assumptions about what others think, feel, or mean, and these assumptions create endless misunderstandings and pain. We assume our partner is upset, our friend is distant, our co-worker is angry, and we act accordingly. But most of the time, our assumptions are wrong. The cure is simple. Ask questions. Communicate clearly. As Ruiz says, find the courage to ask questions and to express what you really want. Clarity ends conflict. When you stop assuming and start communicating, you replace confusion with connection. The fourth lesson is always do your best. Doing your best doesn't mean perfection. It means wholehearted effort. It means showing up fully in whatever you do, without judgment or regret. Your best will look different every day, sometimes powerful, sometimes quiet. But if you truly do your best, you silence the voice of guilt and shame. Ruiz writes, when you do your best, you learn to accept yourself. And that's what self-mastery really means. Acting with love, accepting what is, and letting go of what's beyond your control. These first 4 agreements form the foundation of inner freedom. But the fifth agreement adds the awareness needed to fully awaken the ability to see truth through your own eyes. The fifth lesson, the essence of this book, is be skeptical but learn to listen. At first, this might sound like a contradiction, but Ruiz explains that skepticism is not about rejecting everything, it's about questioning everything. The world is full of beliefs, stories, and opinions, some well-meaning, others manipulative. From childhood, we've learned to accept what we're told about who we are, what we should do, and what's real. Being skeptical means you stop blindly believing. You ask, is this true? Is this belief really mine, or did I inherit it? Skepticism frees you from illusion, from the lies of the world, and from the lies you tell yourself. But this agreement also includes the phrase, learn to listen. Skepticism without listening becomes arrogance. Listening without skepticism becomes gullibility. True wisdom lies in the balance between the two. When you learn to listen deeply, you hear beyond words. You understand that everyone is speaking from their own dream, their own perception of reality. You don't have to agree or disagree, you simply witness. This kind of listening dissolves judgment and replaces it with compassion. Ruiz writes, don't believe yourself or anybody else unconditionally. Use the power of doubt to question everything you hear. Is it the truth? The real truth? He explains that truth isn't found in the mind, it's found in direct experience. To live the fifth agreement is to live as a conscious observer, aware of the stories being told around you, but not controlled by them. This awareness creates a sense of peace and clarity. You stop chasing the need to be right or to prove others wrong. You become grounded in what's real, not what's imagined. The authors also teach that life itself is a dream, a reflection of our perception. The way we see others and the world depends on the agreements we've made. The more conscious you become, the more you realize that everything you perceive is filtered through your beliefs. When you start questioning those filters, life opens up. You see beauty where you once saw problems. You hear truth where you once heard noise. You respond with love where you once reacted with fear. This is what Ruiz calls the path of the artist. You are the artist of your life, painting your dream with every thought, word, and action. The more awareness you bring, the more your art reflects truth and love instead of illusion and fear. And perhaps the most beautiful lesson in the fifth agreement is the idea of returning to innocence. Ruiz explains that before we were domesticated by society, we were pure, we lived in the moment, trusted life, and loved without condition. The journey of self-mastery is not about becoming something new. It's about returning to who you were before the world taught you who to be. When you live by the 5 agreements, you begin to experience life as it truly is, simple, peaceful, and free. You become the witness of your mind rather than its prisoner. You no longer seek approval or chase control. You live authentically, guided by awareness and love. Let's recap the 5 agreements. 1E. Be impeccable with your word. Speak with integrity and love. 2 ones. Don't take anything personally. What others do is their story, not yours. 3. Don't make assumptions. Communicate clearly to create understanding. 4. Always do your best act with presence and self-acceptance. 5. Be skeptical, but learn to listen. Question beliefs while staying open to truth. The big takeaway from the 5th agreement is this. Truth doesn't need to be believed. It simply is. When you see reality as it is, not as you've been told it should be, you awaken. You live in peace, clarity, and freedom. That was the 5th agreement by Don Miguel Ruiz and Don José Ruiz, broken down into its most powerful lessons in under 14 minutes. Which agreement resonated most with you being impeccable or seeing through illusion? Share your thoughts in the comments below. And if you enjoyed this summary, make sure to like this video, subscribe to 10-Minute Books, and ring the bell so you never miss our weekly breakdowns of life-changing books. Thanks for watching, and remember, the truth doesn't require belief. It only needs awareness.